All right, working with something a little bit different here. When you look at this polynomial, you notice a couple of things. One, it has 4 different terms, and 2, it is, again, another little fun trip. It has a leading coefficient, or it has a degree of 3. All right, so 2 things that are a little bit different with this. So whenever you see a 4-term polynomial with a leading coefficient of 3, or a degree of 3, then that means you need to do factor by grouping. So when we do factor by grouping, we take the first 2 things, we stick them in parentheses. Always put a plus in the middle. Put the next 2 things in parentheses, okay? So that's what it starts to look like when we're doing factor by grouping. Now, look to see what they have in common. 2 and 8, well, that's a 2, so we're going to pull a 2 out in front. X cubed, x squared. Take the smaller of the 2, so that's going to be x squared. So we factored out a 2x squared. So basically we've divided each term by 2x squared. Well, 2 divided by 2 is just 1. X cubed divided by x squared is just x. 8 divided by 2, 4. X squared divided by x squared cancels out. So x plus 4 is left inside the parentheses. Look at your second set of parentheses. We have a negative x and a negative 4. Well, the only thing we can factor out of that is a negative, so we're going to factor out a negative 1, which leaves me with x plus 4. Now, you should notice a couple of things right here. The 2 things inside the parentheses should be the same. If they're not, then we did something wrong. So take your x plus 4, set it equal to 0, and now you're going to take the 2 things that are on the outside, 2x squared minus 1, set it equal to 0. Solve each one of them. Here you get x equals negative 4. Over here, add 1, so 2x squared equals 1, divide by 2. Now we have x squared equals 1 over 2. Once you're at this stage, you got to think, how do I undo x squared? Well, we take the square root. So x equals plus or minus the square root of 1/2. So we have x equals negative 4, x equals plus or minus square root of 1/2. And those are our solutions. A hint right here, look at the degree of your polynomial. It's a degree 3. So that tells me there's going to be 3 total solutions, whether it's real, imaginary, irrational, rational, it doesn't matter. There are 3 total solutions. The positive square root is one solution, negative square root is another solution, and then the negative 4. So that's 3 total solutions for this problem. All right, let's work out one more problem together with this. All right. So that's the polynomial we're working with. I want you to go ahead and try the first step on your own. Work as far as you possibly can. When you get stuck, hit the play button and pick up from there. So go ahead and work out the problem on your own, hit pause, and work it out. All right, hopefully you've worked it out as far as you can. First step, put it in parentheses. Always a plus sign in the middle, like that. Now, once we're here, take out what they have in common. So we have a 3 and a 6, so we're going to pull a 3 out. X cubed, x squared, so that means we pull out the smallest one, which is the x squared. 3 divided by 3 is 1, x cubed divided by x squared is x. 6 divided by 3 is 2, x squared and x squared cancel. Now, what goes into 4 and 8? Well, that's a 4. So 4 divided by 4 is just going to be an x. 8 divided by 4 is going to be a 2. Now, right here, check to see if the things inside your parentheses are the same. X plus 2, x plus 2. They are. Set them equal to 0. So x plus 2 equals 0. Take the thing on the outside, 3x squared plus 4, set it equal to 0. Now solve. X equals negative 2. Solve this one. Subtract 4. 3x squared equals negative 4. Divide by 3. X squared equals negative 4 over 3. Now we have to take the square root because it's x squared. x equals, always plus or minus. Now, interesting scenario happens right here. You see that there's a negative underneath the square root. If you think back a little ways, when there's a negative underneath the square root, that means you have to pull out an I. Square roots of 4 over 3, and that would be your solution along with x equals -2. All right? Hopefully you understand how to factor by grouping. Remember, we do factor by grouping if there are 4 terms. Always do factor by grouping if there's 4 terms. If there's 3 terms, then you can try to factor it normally. But with a 4-term polynomial, especially when we have a degree of 3, try factor by grouping. All right? If you have any questions, raise your hand. If not, try the problems on the worksheet, and make sure you check your answer key.